Welcome to What's JIRA? In this tutorial, I'll introduce you to JIRA. You'll get to know the different JIRA products and you'll meet some typical JIRA users and find out how they use it. You'll also get to know what determines what you can do in JIRA. Finally, we'll show you how to get around in JIRA. JIRA is built for teams to manage their projects and track their work. It's offered in 3 different products: JIRA Software, JIRA Service Desk, and JIRA Core. You may have 2 of these products at your site, just one, or all of them, depending on the type of teams you have and what you're looking to accomplish. JIRA Software is used by software development teams to plan, track, and release software. JIRA Service Desk is used by IT and customer service teams to create and run their service desks. JIRA Core is used by business teams such as finance, marketing, and HR to manage projects and keep their teams organized. These are the typical use cases for the 3 JIRA products, but only your imagination is the limit.
Hello, my name's Lewis and I'm a marketing manager. Our team creates tasks and manages them on a board. It's easy to see all our tasks and how they're progressing in one place and in real time. Also, I can get a quick look at the overall status to ensure that tasks aren't getting bottlenecked, which is important to me as a manager. It's a huge help to me for keeping my projects on track.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm a developer, and my team's creating a new mobile app for locating planets. We use Scrum for our software development, and we manage all of our work on a board. This contains everything we've committed to finishing within this sprint. I've already fixed one bug, and now I'm working on another one. I also have a story that I've implemented that's in code review. And now I'm ready to write the test script, so I'll grab this task and move it to in progress. One of the best things about JIRA software for developers like me is that I can create branches and monitor pull requests and build statuses right from the JIRA ticket.
Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm a support engineer on our internal IT service desk. I resolve problems and service requests from other employees throughout our company. They create tickets on our customer portal, which immediately show up in our service desk queues. I monitor these queues and grab the most urgent ones to work on. Sometimes I can resolve a problem immediately from the knowledge-based suggestions that automatically appear in the service desk ticket. And I can communicate with my customers and stakeholders, and they can communicate with me by adding comments to the request. So we can see the entire history of all these interactions in one place.
Hi, my name's
What you can do in JIRA depends on what role you have in your organization. For example, the whole software development team has access to JIRA software to manage their software projects, but only Scrum Masters can create and manage sprints. And support teams have access to JIRA Service Desk to run their help desks, but only IT managers can create service-level agreements and request types. And business teams use JIRA Core to manage their tasks, but only managers can create reports. Your JIRA administrators set up your access and permissions based on your job role. They control what JIRA applications you have access to and what you can do in JIRA. You may have access to multiple JIRA products or only one. And you may be able to perform different tasks than others in your team. Now let's take a look at how you navigate in JIRA. Your JIRA may look a little different from this, depending on what you have access to, your permissions, and how your JIRA is set up, but the basics of navigation are the same. On the left, you can browse everything in JIRA using a collapsible sidebar. It's also contextual, so it changes depending on what page you're on. Here's the system dashboard, which you may see when you first log in. Your JIRA admin sets this up with useful information for your users. On this sidebar, you can navigate to more dashboards, projects, issues, and filters, JIRA settings if you have permission, apps, and more. You'll see the global sidebar wherever you are in JIRA, and here you can go to your JIRA home and access dashboards, view starred and recent boards, projects, filters, issues, and dashboards, search for issues, boards, and filters, create issues, view notifications, switch to other Atlassian applications, get help, and access your profile.
Let's take a few moments to review what we have learned. Don't forget to press the Submit button to see feedback on your answers.
This is the first in a series of tutorials that will introduce you to the basics of JIRA software. In this tutorial, you'll learn about the two Agile boards, Scrum and Kanban. You'll also learn how each board functions to help you and your team plan and execute work. This tutorial is all about the planning stage of Agile methodology. Now, we do assume you already have a solid foundation in Agile methodology, but you'll see that we review many of the concepts that you need to get started with JIRA software. Check out the resources link above if you need more information on the topic that we discuss here. Ready? Let's get started. Hi, I'm Ryan from Atlassian. Every day I help teams all over the world collaborate using Agile methodology. Today I'm going to help you learn the basics of JIRA software. Let's begin with a story. As I mentioned, I help teams. In business these days, it's really common for companies to have teams distributed everywhere, people stationed and doing work all over the world. A few years back, I worked with a team that was starting out with Agile methodology. They had teams in San Francisco, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and even a couple of teams in Ohio, I think. Each team had their own physical version of these poster boards. On each poster board, they would attach Post-it notes under columns that read To Do, In Progress, and Done. Every few days, they would have video conference calls, where the project lead would say, "Okay, everybody move this Post-it note from To Do to In Progress." Line by line, each team would physically move the Post-it notes through every column in the workflow. They would do this for every single task completed. As you can imagine, it was frustrating, archaic, and actually kind of hilarious when you look back on it. What I'm attempting to express here is that JIRA software is what that process, with the poster boards and Post-it notes, looks like as an application. JIRA software is used to manage software development. Let's explore more. I want to reiterate how everything translates into JIRA software. The poster board that the team used to track their to-do items becomes either a Scrum board or a Kanban board in JIRA software. I'll explain the difference between the two boards in a few minutes. The Post-it notes, which sit on the board, become issues that move through the workflow. Boards can be viewed by all members of your team, and team members can be notified when new or existing issues require their attention. There are two types of boards in JIRA software. I'll explain both types briefly, and then we'll dive deeper into each. The first type of board is a Scrum board. Scrum boards are an excellent way for a software development team to get started, but it's not just for software teams. Scrum excels as a methodology for any team that has a deliverable to ship. The structure of Scrum is great for keeping the team on track. The fixed-length development timeframe, frequent check-ins, and team communication, along with ceremonies like the end-of-sprint retrospective, all contribute to the stakeholders knowing how the project's going and to the team continually improving their development process. Kanban is great for teams whose main objective is managing the flow of work. Think of operations teams or support teams, although it can certainly be used effectively by other teams. It lacks the formal structure of Scrum, so teams need to be effective at working together and managing progress and communication without an imposed structure. I want to explain a bit more about the functions of a Kanban board, just to give you more context about how JIRA software is used. Kanban boards are great for helping teams manage the flow of work. For example, someone like a support queue manager might add work items to the backlog as they arrive. That manager then prioritizes each item so that the most urgent requests appear at the top of the backlog, like this, making it efficient for team members to pick up prioritized items as they have availability to work on them. Kanban boards manage a continual flow of work. For the following tutorials, we'll focus less on Kanban boards and more on Scrum boards. If you'd like to learn more about the use of Kanban boards, check out the resources link for more information. Unlike Kanban boards, Scrum boards help teams whose focus is on planning, committing, and delivering bodies of work over a fixed-length period of time called a sprint. In these instances, the team decides how long they want their sprints to be. Typically, sprints last about 2 to 4 weeks. Managing the Scrum board before, during, and after a sprint is a team effort. Here's how that works. Product owners define and create issues for all the work to be done. They add that work to the product backlog, which acts like a giant to-do list. Product owners then prioritize each item so that the most urgent items appear at the top. The team then grooms the product backlog, developing finer detail for the highest priority work items, and estimating how long each might take to complete. Then, developers pull items from the product backlog into the sprint backlog. They pull as many as they feel as a team they can complete during that sprint. These items, once added to the sprint backlog, function as an active to-do list from which the team works. Once the sprint's finished, the team typically holds a retrospective meeting to assess the work completed. At this meeting, the team might adjust the product backlog to reflect findings such as incorrect estimations or other inefficiencies before beginning another product iteration in the next sprint. Learn more about the nuts and bolts of planning a sprint by clicking the resources link. Which type of board do you think you'll be using? Let's finish by exploring the team breakdown a bit further. In JIRA software, different team members are responsible for different things. Just to give you an idea, the JIRA Global Administrator typically creates the project for your team and creates new workflows when needed. Other team members, like the Scrum Master, could create and own the boards. Product owners usually create and prioritize issues, and so on. And of course, there's the developers. They work with the product owner to prioritize issues. They can also add new issues to the backlog if they discover that a single issue needs to be split into more than one task, or if something was missed in the original plan. Teams work together to figure out the best ways to engage the process and complete each sprint effectively. For these tutorials, we focus on the tasks rather than the details of exactly who carries out each task. It's important to know, however, that there are special permissions needed to do some of the tasks that we talk about. For more information about the duties of various team members, check out the resources link.
Let's take a few moments to review what we have learned. Don't forget to press the Submit button to see feedback in your own project. Open your instance. Before we get started, you can test yourself to see how well you know the key concepts covered in this tutorial. Click the Pre-Quiz button to take the quiz, or click Skip to the Good Stuff to jump right in. Welcome to Using Basic Search. In this tutorial, you'll get an introduction to using JIRA's Basic Search as you use Basic Search to find issues. Join me as I help Max, a server engineer, when he requests my help as his Scrum Master.
I need to review my team's issues in JIRA, but I'm just not sure how to do that. I was hoping you could give me a quick introduction.
I'm glad to. Remember, JIRA contains issues collectively detailing the work your team does. With JIRA, you assess and analyze your work so you can see how your team is working and plan future improvements. The key is to use JIRA's search functionality effectively. To do this, you need to ask the right search questions to get the issues you're looking for. Basic search is all about making your task of asking these questions easy and fast. You start from a screen called the Issue Navigator. The screen says Search, but it's known as the Issue Navigator. The Issue Navigator is the page where Basic Search displays its results. You see the issues returned from a search query here. This is where the fun begins. You can ask simple questions using the Basic Search, or ask really specific questions using the Advanced Search and JQL. But how do we find the issues we need? Well, if we're looking for a book in a library, we identify a few attributes and start our search. For example, we might look for a book with a title, Alice in Wonderland, and an author of Lewis Carroll. In the case of JIRA, the attributes we use for searching are fields. Remember that fields are where the issue's data is stored. You create search queries based on those fields. Now it should be clear why it's so important to understand the nature of the issues in your projects, specifically the fields in the issues. Knowing what the fields are and the type of data each can store allows you to create the queries you need to be a rockstar JIRA user. Let's take a look. An issue in JIRA can have fields like this. Notice the search criteria in the basic search bar. They correspond to the fields in the issue. Makes sense, doesn't it? These are the hooks available to you through search, so you can grab just the issues you need. Let's say you want to know at any time what work you need to do. You could start with a simple question like, which issues are assigned to me? Let's see how to search for these issues. You can use basic search to find issues for any assignee on the project, including yourself.
Hey, hold on a second. You just said I can select any assignee on the project, but I don't see all my team members in the list.
Very observant. Once you've searched for an assignee, their name appears in this list. If you don't see their name, you can start typing it where it says Find Users Groups, and the name appears. From there, you can select it. But for now, let's stick with you. I'll select the checkbox next to your name, and immediately the search is executed and the list of issues changes to include only those issues assigned to you. What I've just done is created a simple query which contains three elements: a field, assignee, an operator, equals, and a value, Max Taylor. In JIRA, this is known as a clause.
Okay, this is good. But what if I want to see all the issues for the Teams in Space project?
How can you phrase it in a way that JIRA understands? Down. And now we're instance of JIRA and go to the Issue Navigator. Use the basic search to find issues in your project, your issues, and unresolved issues.